Yashakoach to Rabbi Karzen for again providing Lovim and Esrogim here. It's a great service and we appreciate it. And tonight is Kaparot, the minig of Kaparot, which is mentioned in the Shulchan Aruch. And apparently, it's a minig that stirred up a great deal of controversy over the ages. The Rashi in Maseches Shabbos, the 8th parak in Shabbos, Rashi mentions as an aside that he has a tradition from the Gaonim in Bovel that they used to take flower pots with flowers and they would bury them in the ground so that the flowers would grow, and then he doesn't mention it necessarily regarding Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, but then they would take it out and they would say, this is our Kaparot, Zeh Kaparoseinu, Zeh Tmuraseinu, Zeh Chalifaseinu. And that apparently was a minig in Bovel, and that certainly resembles our minig of Kaparot. Now, the minig of Kaparot in Eastern Europe and in the Shulchan Aruch also, the minig of Kaparot was with chickens. And they would bring the chicken to the sheikhet, and then the chicken was used for the meal on Erev Yom Kippur, when it's a mitzvah to eat. And then it was also used after Yom Kippur. And it was also used to distribute. If you didn't want the chicken, it was distributed to aniyim, to people who could use it. There was a further embellishment of the custom, is that they never used the entrails of the chicken, because chickens eat everything and everywhere, and therefore the chicken is, so to speak, a ganiv, and we don't want to benefit from that by Yom Kippur, so they would leave that for the birds and for the animals. So then there arose a custom. It can't be any, Jews are like that. Can't be any chicken. So they had to be a white chicken. So a white chicken was a symbol of purity, but not every chicken was white, and you couldn't always get a white chicken. And that already the poskim objected to, because they said that's already darkei armori, that's superstition. That's a layer that they didn't want to put on it. Now, especially in the 19th century, there were great poskim that opposed the entire minig, and opposed it very strongly. Yechiel Michal Alevi Epstein, the Bala Aruch HaShulchan, who was the basic posek in Lithuania, so he said that we should be mevatel the minig completely. Not only that, he says anybody that has the courage to be mevatel the minig, I will defend him in this world and in the next. So that made an impression. It certainly made an impression on Lithuanian Jewry. Now, in German Jewry, that minig was not prevalent at all. You never saw it. But in Lita it was prevalent, but he said to be mevatel the minig. So they didn't have the ability to be mevatel the minig completely, but they switched it from chickens to money, which is also part of the problem, which also the poskim discuss, is that if everybody lines up by the shochet to shech the chickens, so then the shochet is in a hurry, especially if he got paid per chicken. And therefore, maybe he wouldn't be as careful with the knife, or he wouldn't be as careful with the shechita itself. So therefore, that raised another level of problem. So therefore, they went away from chickens completely, and they said we should take money and perform the minig with money. And that became the custom amongst many, became the prevalent custom amongst many. But I know, but here in Yerushalayim, I noticed that chickens are a big business, and that people use chickens, and Kaparot is a. So it goes only to show the power of a minhag. I often quote Rabbi Yaakov Emden, who said that it's too bad that Lo Signov is not a minig. If it were a minig, he said, people would observe it more scrupulously. And we see that the Gemara itself, Gemara in Beitza, discusses that minig mevatel halacha, that sometimes the minig cancels the halacha. And the Gemara brings there Erev Yom Kippur as one of the cases of minig mevatel halacha. They're not talking about kaparos, they're talking about something else. How late you could eat, the women, etc. So the famous story about that is that one of the great Rebbitzins was cleaning for Pesach, and she said that the minig in their house was that they put stockings, booties on the cat, so the cat wouldn't drag in chametz. So her husband said to her, that doesn't appear anywhere in the Shulchan Aruch. I don't know why you're doing this. And she said, you and your Shulchan Aruch, the house would have been treif long ago. So that's an attitude towards minhagim. It's an attitude how people have towards it. So I don't think that we should speak against the minig, but I do recommend using money. It's safer, accomplishes the same purpose, and it doesn't run into the problems that exist when you're doing it with live chickens, and shachtim who are hard pressed to meet the demand when everybody's standing in line. So everyone should have a Gemar Sima Tova, a good year. If during the year I said or did something or didn't do something that may have offended anyone, it was not my intent to do so. And I ask you, Mechila, and we should have a very, very good year. The Bein Hashem should bless us. Amen.